Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. What is one of the biggest concerns consumers have in 2021? Well, it's gotta be the price tags for new vehicles, as even used car prices this year have been pretty sky high. But when it comes to the compact crossover segment, we have seen prices increase each and every year thanks to the introduction of new technology, whether it's for luxury features, safety features, or just when it comes to the overall comfort and refinement. Now, as an automotive journalist and YouTuber, I always try filming the highest trim vehicle if possible, just to showcase all the features the vehicle comes with. However, buyers right now are looking for the best bang for their buck. So today we're taking a look at the Nissan Rogue SV. Now the SV sits on the lower side of things in the trim level. So you have the S, SV, SL, and Platinum. Of course, the Platinum is going to be the most expensive and the best well-equipped. However, the SV has one package that, in my mind, makes this vehicle one of the best values in its price range and segment. So in this video, we're going to take a good long look at the Nissan Rogue SV, see how it compares to other vehicles in its segment, and also see why, if you do opt for the premium package with the SV trim, then maybe, just maybe, you have stumbled upon a vehicle that's one of the best crossovers you can buy at around $33,000. Now, before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Boch Nissan in Norwood, Massachusetts for allowing me to do this review. Their link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive Nissan inventory. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right in this review. As the compact crossover market continues to evolve and become the hottest segment in the automotive industry, consumer demand in build quality, tech features, and overall value has forced manufacturers to put far more time and energy into these vehicles, but sadly, at a cost. While you can easily find new compact crossovers for under $30,000, receiving a model with modern-day amenities at this price point is becoming rare, as there's far more emphasis on comfort and entry-level luxury in this segment, thanks to the rise of subcompacts, which have also gotten bigger and more expensive. The 2021 Nissan Rogue is a reflection of how far this market has come over the years, as there's a completely new look to better compete with the modern designs now found on new crossovers. And for this generation, Nissan spent a lot of time crafting this vehicle to provide a superior driving experience compared to its predecessor. Starting off with pricing, the Nissan Rogue SV comes in at $28,840, with our model being equipped with all-wheel drive, which is a $1,400 option. Despite the brand new looks for 2021, Nissan spent most of their time focusing on the interior and driving characteristics to make this crossover more competitive in this segment. While the third generation is still built on the same platform, exterior dimensions do change a bit, as the Rogue downsizes by 2 inches. However, it won't have any profound effect on interior room for front and rear passengers. When it comes to off-road worthiness, you will have a ground clearance of around 8.2 inches, which isn't class-leading, but does make the Rogue more versatile than a good amount of competitors in the compact crossover market. Taking a look at the road presence of the third generation Rogue, Nissan decided to go trendy with the design of the front fascia, with cosmetic styling that's become very common in this segment. In past model years, the Rogue was never looked at as being a class leader or really standing out from an exterior design perspective. But for 2021, this crossover now has a boxier and rugged appearance, with the extended V-motion front grille and enhanced chrome accents that should draw your attention at first glance. With the SV trim, you will have LED daytime running lights, and just like we've seen with Hyundai and Mitsubishi, the LED headlights will be separate for a cleaner and modern look. If you were to opt for the SL or Platinum, you'd also receive LED fog lights for better illumination during adverse weather or on dimly lit back roads. Moving over to the side profile, the SV will be sitting on 18-inch aluminum alloy wheels, which is an upgrade over the 17s found on the S trim. And for those concerned about ride comfort with the slightly bigger tires, the Rogue will handle the imperfections on the road pretty well. Surprising to find on a lower trim, you will have body color folding side mirrors with LED turn signal indicators to go along with blind spot detection for added safety. Then coming around to the back, the rear fascia takes on similar design cues that we found on the last generation, and rather than a complete overhaul, the Rogue's appearance from this angle has evolved rather than drastically changing for the 2021 model year. Of course, the boxy body lines continues for the rear third of this crossover. However, there is a very subtle sloping roofline that flows into the C-pillars. For a classier and upscale appearance, the SV will have LED taillights, and while Nissan did keep the plastic cladding to a minimum up front, the rear bumper will have that off-road capable look for drivers searching to go on some adventures. Under the hood, the Nissan Rogue is powered by a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that puts out 181 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with a CVT. If the performance numbers sound familiar, it's because the same engine can be found in the new Mitsubishi Outlander. While the Rogue does have a CVT, it should be noted most of its closest competitors will have some iteration of this transmission for improved fuel efficiency. And we'll get into how this crossover performs when we go out for a test drive. For the drivetrain, front-wheel drive does come standard, but as mentioned earlier, we do have all-wheel drive for better year-round versatility. For fuel economy, you can expect to receive right around 25 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the highway. Stepping inside, our model for this review is equipped with the optional $1,300 premium package, which is going to give you heated leatherette seats which replaces the cloth upholstery that comes standard for the SV. By paying a little extra, you're receiving additional comfort and a slightly more plush interior, as the front seats provide a good amount of support. The driver's side will be power adjustable, whereas passengers will have to find their ideal seating position. For a lower trim, you're going to find the cabin very welcoming, as the materials used for the dashboard and center console help elevate the driving experience. Once behind the wheel, in front of you, there will be a small digital display between the analog gauges, which provides a good amount of information. However, if you're looking for the fully digital gauge cluster, you will have to upgrade to the Platinum trim. Resolution is pretty impressive, and it's from this display where you can access some basic settings for your Rogue, while also monitoring the safety systems that come standard on this model. Moving over to the infotainment system, you'll have an 8-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. With Google Maps and Waze, you'll likely not miss the lack of an onboard navigation system. However, if you want enhanced audio, you will have to upgrade to the SL and opt for the premium package to receive the 10-speaker Bose sound system. Buyers are going to like having some physical buttons found beneath the screen to go along with the volume and tuning knobs. When it comes to user-friendliness, this head unit isn't that in-depth compared to other infotainment systems in this segment. And for consumers just looking for simplicity for the tech features, the SV will certainly be the way to go. Very impressive for a lower trim model, you will have a top view camera, front and rear parking sensors, and of course the rear backup camera with trajectory to make parking this crossover much easier. Below, you'll find the buttons and dials for your dual zone climate control, 3-level heated seats, heated steering wheel, and front and rear defrosters. And as we work our way down towards the center console, you'll find a cubby for your smartphone with a USB and USB-C input. Going with the more European look and feel, the 2021 model will have a redesigned gear shifter, where you put the Rogue into drive or reverse by sliding the lever forward or backwards, and you'll have a dedicated park button. It's also on the center console where you'll find the drive mode selector, with each mode affecting throttle response and steering input. For the center storage compartment, you'll have enough room for smaller items. And rounding out the front seating area, by opting for the premium package, you will have a dual-pane panoramic moonroof, which will let in a lot of natural light to the interior. Now for passengers in the back, we're going to start off on the passenger side, and the seat is adjusted all the way back, believe it or not, and I have plenty of legroom to work with here. This is great to see because most compact crossovers, it can get a bit tight for the second row. So if you're around maybe 5'9", 5'10", I think you could sit back here somewhat comfortably, more so than competitors, even with this seat adjusted all the way back. Now when it comes to headroom, you do have plenty of it because of the higher roofline, even with the massive panoramic sunroof. So when it comes to interior space, the Nissan Rogue is definitely one of the more spacious vehicles I've experienced so far in this segment. Now when it comes to the center seat, The center hump isn't that aggressive at all. And theoretically, if you had to, you could sit this way. Around my height, around 5'5", it could work. Now, the only issue you're going to have here is that when it comes to average size adults, shoulder room is going to be the main issue. But if you had 3 kids back here, this could most certainly work. And this is actually one of the more family-friendly vehicles I have featured so far on the channel this year. Then on the driver's side, the seat is adjusted to someone of my height, around 5'5". And this is the most amount of legroom I've experienced maybe since the Volkswagen Tiguan. This is really spacious. Whether it's headroom, legroom, I think even shoulder room isn't that bad. The Nissan Rogue, at least for the last few compact crossovers I've featured on this channel, this is one of the more spacious ones so far. This is really impressive to see. Also back here, you will have 2 rear air vents to go along with the USB and USB-C input. Now, if you do upgrade to the SL, you will have climate control back here as well, which would be great for hot or cold days. Also, by upgrading to the premium package, you will have rear sunshades, which is great if you do have a family and you have kids back here and you don't want to have that sunlight beaming down on them, and maybe you just want to have some extra privacy. This is pretty great to see. And then rounding out the rear seating area, you do get a center armrest with 2 cup holders. Now, coming around to the back, and another reason why you want to go with the premium package is because you will have a power liftgate. And inside, you're going to find right around 36.5 cubic feet behind the second row seats, which is on par with most vehicles in this segment and might outcompete some smaller compact crossovers. Back here, you can fit more than 3 or 4 bags of luggage back here if you are going on a road trip with the family. Then with the second row seats folded, that space right on doubles in size to 74 cubic feet, which will outclass some of those smaller compact crossovers on the market. So overall, this vehicle really is very practical and spacious. Also back here on either side of the rear cargo area, you will have some side pockets for some smaller items, maybe car detail equipment, water bottles, or even your first aid kit. Also, below the floor mat, you will have a spare tire, which is great to see because, well, the Mitsubishi Outlander, which was built on the exact same platform as a Nissan Rogue, didn't have that because they're trying to fit a 3rd row in their vehicle. So if you are looking at buying a Nissan Rogue and cross-shopping it with a Mitsubishi Outlander and the spare tire is crucial, then go with the Nissan Rogue. And then once you're done, just press the button and the liftgate will close automatically. Alright, so let's take the Nissan Rogue SV out for a test drive to see how it performs, how it handles, how it drives, and how it compares to other vehicles in its segment. And the real reason why I am here today is because I want to see how this vehicle differs from the Mitsubishi Outlander, which shares the exact same platform. Now, for a compact crossover, it does feel somewhat big, so you don't feel very claustrophobic in this vehicle at all. So you have a good amount of shoulder room to work with here. Also, A-pillars, not that aggressive at all. You have a nice vision in front of you here, so plenty of vision to work with. That's what I like to see. And we're going to have a great opportunity to get a 0 to 60 acceleration immediately into this test drive. So let's see how this 4-cylinder performs. Not bad at all. Of course, it's not going to push you back in your seat or, really be very aggressive and engaging when it comes to accelerations, but that's not what a compact crossover is meant to do. Now, what I'm really impressed by with the Nissan Rogue for this generation is just how refined and robust this vehicle really is. Now, of course, we are in an SV, so it's not going to be the top trim. However, interior quality is really nice, and being behind the wheel is quite enjoyable and relaxing. These leatherette seats are really comfortable, and that's something I do not expect to see for a vehicle that isn't necessarily on the higher end in its trim levels. And you can go higher up to the Platinum and get leather seats, and this is actually, in my mind, providing a lot of value at its price point. Now, when it comes to the driving experience and driving dynamics, everything is really smooth. Steering is somewhat tight for a compact crossover that isn't a sports oriented or really supposed to be that engaging to drive. And to me, it gives me a lot of driver feedback, and I love that. Also, the leather-wrapped steering wheel feels really nice in the hands, and some vehicles, especially at this price range, have very cheap materials for their steering wheel. This feels really nice with some aggressive bolstering for the 10 and 2 positions. Now, when it comes to accelerations with the CVT, and that wasn't really hard, I wasn't going deep into the throttle, you don't really notice the fact that it is a CVT. The gear shifts were actually mimicking a true automatic pretty well. Now, of course, in city driving, you're not going to notice it. When it comes to back road driving, probably not either. When it's the hard accelerations, when you're on the highway, that's really where you're going to notice a CVT. And as an enthusiast, I would love to see a true automatic, but I'm not going to go overboard with the fact that, oh, it's a CVT, because there's so many brands use them right now in this segment, like Toyota and Subaru, and that's exactly what you expect when you're buying a compact crossover in this segment. Now, when it comes to road noise, it's not really that bad at all. This is pretty impressive for a vehicle that isn't a top trim, and I always come back to that just because when you're looking at buying a compact crossover, you want as much value as possible. You want the features, you want the tech features, you want a feeling of being in a vehicle that's very refined. And the fact that this is an SV, that's pretty impressive. You really tend to overlook the lower trims in the lineup because you want to have a full digital gauge cluster, you want to have leather seats, you want that comfort. But in the Nissan lineup for the Rogue, this isn't too bad at all. I'm actually really impressed here. So let's see how the Rogue handles sharper corners as we go around this rotary. I like the direct steering. You do feel the body roll though, which is to be expected. This is not going to have a lower center of gravity. Now we are going to put the Rogue in sport mode. I want to see exactly what this does to the vehicle. It does make the accelerations a bit more aggressive. Throttle response is a little bit more touchy. Steering input is very tight, which I love. I do love tight steering. Not bad. I mean, when it comes to accelerations with this vehicle, of course, you only have 181 horsepower, 181 pound-feet of torque, so you're not going to be breaking any speed records, but I do think that you have enough power to work with where you can get on the road pretty quickly and get on the highway safely. Since we are approaching a red light, I might as well go over the interior layout. Since we are now behind the wheel and driving this vehicle, what does it feel like to be inside the Nissan Rogue? And to me, this is really impressive. I love the center console. It's wider, so you feel as though you're in a bigger vehicle, and that's exactly what I want to see in the compact crossover market. Also, we do have quick access buttons for the infotainment system, obviously physical buttons and dials for the volume and tuning. Love to see that. Also, dual zone climate control for a vehicle at this price point, really impressive. 3-level heated seats, heated steering wheel, and also we've already gone over the leather wrap steering wheel, and that's pretty nice too. But it's really a welcoming interior. It's pretty comfortable in here, and that's not something that I really expect in this price range, especially at around $30,000. You don't normally see that in this segment, because normally brands will cut back a bit when it comes to the refinement, when it comes to the quality, and this feels really nice. It feels exactly what I was experiencing in the Mitsubishi Outlander. The only difference though is that even though they're built on the exact same platform, the Nissan Rogue has more of a sloping hood line. So I can see a lot more in front of me compared to the Mitsubishi Outlander, and you don't get that feeling of being in a truck or being in a huge SUV, which is what the Outlander is trying to be. Whereas this feels more family friendly overall, especially when it comes to the front vision, when it comes to the comfort. This is just really impressive, and I was not expecting this, especially when I was handed the keys to an SV, because I did want to experience a Platinum. But actually, I think that if you are on a strict budget, you are going to like the SV, especially with the premium package. But overall, after this test drive, I'm actually really surprised at the Nissan Rogue SV, because Usually brands will hold back a bit on their lower trims. Now, of course, this does have the premium package, which I highly recommend. That extra $1,400 is gonna go a long way. You're going to receive the creature comforts. You're going to have the panoramic moonroof, so we actually are able to use the moonroof cam for this review. But also you have the leatherette seats, and just overall, with what you had with the SV before the premium package, soft touch padding found throughout. Really impressive to see. Most vehicles in this price range are going to have more of a hard touch plastic, whereas this feels very well refined. And to me, Nissan for this generation was really focusing on a vehicle that you're going to want to own, you're going to want to drive, because the last generation and the generation before that really didn't age that well in my mind, especially when it comes to the interior quality. It just wasn't there. It wasn't a vehicle that you would say would be on par with a Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V. This was planned out a lot better. There's a lot more refinement, there's a lot more thought process into the overall design, and I think consumers are going to like that, especially if you're coming from a older generation Rogue and you're just looking to upgrade to a newer model year. You're really going to love this vehicle. But I gotta be honest though, I am really surprised with the driving dynamics for the Nissan Rogue. Was not expecting this at all, just because whether it's the RAV4, Honda CR-V, Nissan Rogue, these vehicles have created a reputation for themselves where they're not the most engaging to drive. Yet it seems as though in 2021 that these brands are doing the best they can to make you feel as though that you're in a very nice vehicle, that you're in an upscale and more refined crossover. And that's exactly what I feel behind the wheel of this Nissan Rogue, which I did not experience last generation and the generation prior to that. I have had experiences with those two generations, and there was just nothing to write home about. But to be honest, with this being an SV, I'm glad I actually drove an SV rather than a Platinum, because this provides a lot of value and a lot of refinement for its price point. So at the end of the day, do you need to upgrade to an SL or Platinum to receive a lot of value with the Nissan Rogue? And in my mind, not necessarily, because if you do go with the premium package for the SV, you're going to receive a lot of value for the price, especially if you are on a strict budget. We're talking 32, 33. You really can't max it any more than that, because with the Platinum, you're spending close to $40,000, and that's becoming very common with crossovers in this segment. Now, of course, you will have some better tech features and comfort features with the SL and the Platinum. You'll have a full digital gauge cluster with the Platinum. You'll have 3-zone climate control. But if you don't really demand that, and you're just looking for a great value at around $32,000, then the SV is going to give you everything you're looking for. So you will have leatherette seats that are heated. You have a power adjustable driver's seat. Also, you will have dual zone climate control up front. And in my mind, the best thing with the SV premium package is that you do have this panoramic sunroof, which lets in a lot of natural light, makes the vehicle seem a little more upscale at its price point. Also, and this is pre-existing for the SV trim, you have soft touch padding found throughout. It makes this vehicle seem very premium. And we don't really see that with vehicles in this segment. Usually you get more of a hard touch plastic. And I just think that overall, what Nissan has done here with this particular generation is that they've really stepped up their game. They've put a lot of time and thought into this vehicle. Prior generations, you really didn't get that premium and high quality feel. But this time around, Nissan went really serious with this, and I'm really impressed. So you have the practicality, you have the size, you have the ability to fit average size adults in the second row. I don't know what else you could want with the Nissan Rogue. Of course, you still can have those extra tech features, but when you have these leatherette seats, which actually are really comfortable, really surprising, and also a great driving quality as well. The ride quality is really nice. Driving dynamics aren't that bad at all for a vehicle that is priced at around $30,000. I just think that overall, if you're looking for a great value and you don't want to max out your budget, then I think going with the Nissan Rogue SV would be a great decision. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Boston Autoblog so you can see what I'm up to and what vehicles I'll be featuring in the future. And I will see you guys next time.